The first spreads focuses on stereotypes put towards Native Americans and their artwork, along with the mistreatment of their people throughout time. It aims to help set the record straight that Native Americans do not need to appease these stereotypes in their work, and would much rather shatter them than to entertain them. The second spread is about the National Gallery of Art in Washington buying its first Native American artwork for its collection in 2020. The artwork is by Yun Quick2See and is about how Native Americans are used as commodities without consideration for the actual people. The addition to the collection comes at a key time before the U.S. election and in the middle of COVID-19. The third is diving into why there is a lack of Native American art being exhibited in large institutes of art, alongside the lack of diversity in art institute staff, reflecting the one-sidedness of the art world where they demand diversity, yet they have none to show in their institutions. The fourth showcases a great archive of political graphics that contain countless Native American movement posters. All the posters in the collection shows the countless protests against forces that work against the Native American culture, showing they have to get political within their own art to protect their rights and their culture. The fifth is analyzing why most Native American art is political. It is because they are always fighting for equality and rights for their culture. Art is inherently political, yet doesn't have to be, but Native Americans choose it to be because it is part of their life, and the fight against injustice will never truly end for them. The sixth shows how design can help give back to Native Americans, with utilizing graphic design for making maps that can prove cultural and spiritual connections to land, to help present as evidence for land claims in the court of law. Finally, the last spread illustrates graffiti being used as a form of activism. Artist Jack Fuora uses graffiti in a contemporary and traditional way to present a clear message to his audience, while also creating a powerful and straightforward message.
As Carson focused more on that of the political issues and discrimination that Native Americans have and still face, I began to look at and focus on the Native American designers that were and are fighting against them. Through my spreads, I chose to highlight a few past and contemporary Native American designers as well as their work. Lloyd Keevan-New was a designer and artist who helped inspire and make way for new generations of Native American designers. Angel Decorah fought against the forced assimilation and stripping of heritage that Native Americans faced throughout her life and work. Tomahawk Gray Eyes is a designer focused on highlighting his Native American heritage against that of common stereotypes. Marlena Miles aims to educate others on her Dakota heritage and Indigenous history throughout her design. Kayleen Bigknife is an illustrator and designer focused on celebrating her heritage throughout her work. Jared Yazzie has his own clothing line focusing on Native American injustices, issues, art, and struggles that they are dealing with today. In the final spread, I focused on that of the Native Designer List. This being a project done by Neben Southall, which is a continuously growing list of Native American designers that gives you some quick information on them, as well as links to their work and websites.